I'm here at the Pacific Northwest BI Summit in a beautiful Grants Pass, Oregon. I'm Claudia Imhoff, and I'm happy today to be with Tarun Loomba. He is the president of Armanta, and we've had a wonderful couple of days here. But why don't you tell me a little bit about the company itself?
Yes, that'd be great. Armanta is a business intelligence and analytics application platform company. We were actually founded by a group of folks from the financial services industry. And what they found was, as they did over a decade, a set of application deployments in things like risk management and portfolio management. As they did that, they found that 80% of what they were doing, Claudia, was the same every time.
Same thing every
time.
Same
every time.
Yep.
Being able to bring in from vast variety of data sources, to leverage analytic tools, to put it in a high performance environment, be able to put in very specific business logic, and then 20% would be around particularizing to that application. Mm-hmm. So they felt that, hey, what if we took that 80% and productized that into an applications platform? And so that's what we've done. We've sold predominantly into the financial services space to date. What we're looking to do is certainly accelerate that and focus on that, but then broaden out and take the platform to industries like the utilities industry, retail, telco, where you see the same kinds of business process aligned analytic applications needed.
Terrific example of reusability, a good productivity boost, and so forth, to have it all productized.
To have it all productized and moved to production. Real operationalizing of analytic applications is really what we're trying to get to.
Yeah, excellent. Well, one of the topics that we discussed here yesterday actually was about the hybrid data ecosystem, or extending the data warehouse beyond the traditional walls that we think of. First of all, why don't you define what you mean by hybrid data ecosystem or extended data warehouse?
So when we see that, and it's, to us it's the hybrid data, extended data warehouse seems it's still kind of the data warehouse takes on the Texas view of the world kind of thing. What we look at it as is there's very, as opposed to kind of a single version of the truth kind of model, what we've seen in the industry, certainly moving forward broadly, but in financial services from early on, was that there was never really a single version of truth. When you had analytic applications, they needed data from many different sources, including the data warehouse, but from many, many different sources as well. So when you have specific tools that are optimized for a certain type of workload, specialized analytic platforms and analytic tools that you're using, or just data that's kind of in silos across the enterprise, you need this idea of a hybrid data system where you have the ability to take and leverage all of those platforms, but to the user, make it one transparent experience. And that's what we really think about. And so from our standpoint, when we think about risk management that we've done a number of deployments on, by definition, the financial services institutions have kind of run on their own. You've probably seen this, where every desk, every geography, every region, et cetera, have been on their own. So they run their own P&L, so they build their own infrastructure and systems. But at an enterprise level, you still have to be able to look at that in a consistent manner.
It together.
And so over the past decade, we've been doing these implementations, so it wasn't called the hybrid data ecosystem by any means. The industry's been naming these things, but we've had to implement against that. And that's really what our platform, as part of it, was optimized for us, to be able to take that in, bring in all of that data, and bring the kind of the metadata to the application developer and the business user, allow them to see the entire enterprise and analyze that data.
So how have your customers reacted to that? How does it work for them then?
So for them, what they love about the system, right, is that it gives them that ability to be able to do any kind of manipulation of the data, any kind of analysis, specifically aligned to their business process, across from the very highest aggregated level all the way down to the most detailed level data. They've really found that to be a very productive use for their business users.
Oh, it sounds good to me. Now, something else that we talked about yesterday again was collaboration, and how collaboration is really becoming a mandatory part of decision making. You got to get people together, you got to share the information and that sort of thing. How do you see that playing out in these analytic workloads that you're talking about?
So when you're looking to operationalize analytic applications, I think collaboration plays a very strong role. I thought your partner on the panel, Donald Farmer, put it well, that vendors, we're not actually enabling collaboration. What we're doing is, collaboration is going to happen one way or another, whether it's at the water cooler or what have you. We're merely trying to put the tools in place so that we can make it easier for our customers to be able to collaborate, because that's the way decisions are made. One of the things we've done in the analytics sphere is the ability to do sandboxing, but in a collaborative fashion. So what we're able to do is, as I was telling you, we can look at all the data across the entire network, leverage all the tools. What you want to be able to do, and then put very custom business logic depending on the business process you're trying to enable. What you're able to do with Armanta is one interesting use case, again, done because our customers told us, not because we said we've got to figure out collaboration. It's because our customers were driving us to this.
They asked for it, yeah.
Was the ability to change any business logic, any calculations, or any data. Be able to change any of that on the fly, be able to see the results of that without affecting other users, obviously. And then be able to go to other users, and they may look at the data in a completely different manner, right? Think of a marketing manager tuning their offers that they're going to have, the promotions they're going to have, because their boss has told them, I need you to get to 25 points a share. You're at 23 now, get to 25 points. So they figure out everything that you do. They have predictive models that come in, update everything. They go, okay, I've got this segment I'm going to go after. I've got these ads I'm going to run at Best Buy or what have you. So now I've got it. This is looking good. Then they're going to call their counterpart in finance, say, hey, look, I've changed the business logic, I've changed the calculations, the data to be able to get to my 25 points a share. Could you take a look at this? The finance manager is going to take a look, and he's going to look at it, he or she is going to look at it completely differently. They're going to look at the P&L and say, you did a great job. You got to 25 points of margin. You just sucked all the profit out of the business. Ooh. Nice job. Let's work together and figure out what we can do to manage the P&L and manage your goals. So together they can work, change all of that, and then they can publish it out using Armanta because it's tightly integrated with the business processes. It can then operationally go out and publish into getting the ad running, all the promotions that are there, and then hopefully they can, have a nice upside.
Yeah, no downside to those 25 points. Yeah. All righty. Well, Armanta is a relatively new company, but what's coming down the pike in the next few whiles for you?
So Armanta is new. We're newly kind of coming out to the market, but it's actually a decade-old company working in the financial services space.
That's true.
And so what we're now trying to do is accelerate that, but also then come in and be part of the overall kind of BI sphere and actually work in other industries, things like utilities, retail and telco is really what we're going to be going after now. So it's really broadening the scope, because we feel that because things like the hybrid data ecosystem, all the operational kind of analytic applications that are tightly woven to the business process, they're now coming of age. And so it's not just in financial services, we see it kind of broadly applicable. And so we're actually going to come and hopefully working with folks like yourselves, with BI Summit, et cetera, trying to get our name out there and really try to accelerate adoption beyond financial services.
Wonderful. Well, it is your first time here at the BI Summit.
Yes, it is.
So I have to ask you, so far so good?
So far, excellent. I mean, I've been to a number of conferences, obviously, over the years. This is the level of discussion on topics, relevant to our industry has just been astronomical. It's really been a very exciting time to kind of work with, folks like yourself, the rest of the team here, and really start to understand what's going on in the industry, where is it headed, where are things going. It really helps me kind of manage not just our messaging and where we're headed, but also the product and how we're going to drive it. So it's been a very useful thing, and you can't beat the location.
Place, huh?
It's been a lot of fun.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, that's it from the Pacific Northwest BI Summit. Again, I'm Claudia Imhoff. It's been a great pleasure to speak with Tarun Loomba of Armanta. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Claudia.